What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to talk about OP-06. We need to talk about Wings of the Captain, and I need to give you my usual note here, and that is, don't buy singles yet. No, I'm not saying don't buy singles. I'm certainly not saying don't buy OP-06. OP-06 is an awesome set. I love OP-06. I'm really sad. It's been delayed by a week in the UK. I will be buying booster boxes and double packs, and I love OP-06. Not saying don't buy that for a second. I am saying don't buy singles now, because the price of singles is going to crash. I'm going to show you a bunch of examples. I'm going to show you my working, and I'm going to tell you that there might be one exception. It's the Manga Rare. We'll get there in a minute. And speaking of being hyped for OP-06, I'm going to do an OP-06 box break on my Whatnot next Friday, the 22nd, which of course is when the set actually comes out in the UK because we're delayed by a week, boo, etc. So use my invite code whatnot.com/invite/thewassie. Come join in my box break. It's too early to buy singles, as I'm going to tell you, but coming along and doing a box break with me, try and pull some of those singles, celebrating the release of OP-06. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Now, the first one I want to start off with is the Treasure Rare Nami. The Treasure Rare Nami is all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. Because nobody knows what to do with Treasure Rare Nami. Because it's a new type of rarity. We've never had a Treasure Rare before. This is the first ever Treasure Rare we've seen. And I hate to break it to you, but some people have really overpaid. Now, there's a reason they've overpaid, and the reason is very, very simple. People didn't know what to do, and people were hedging. People were overpaying for this, basically hoping that this would end up becoming one of those ridiculous cards, like OP-05 saw the Luffy rare, the Manga Rare, just absolutely explode in value. People are hoping there'd be a similar thing with the Treasure Rare Nami. It does not seem to be happening, unfortunately. The first sale I can find on eBay, $662, which is absurdly expensive. And that's not the only one. Here's 3 in a row around the same time, $450. Best offer accepted on $500. Best offer accepted on $470. Like, I'm not talking about some like random sale here. I'm talking about the initial sales were they were around the $450 to $500 mark. Again, there was a $662. There was one that was like a best offer accepted on like $3,000. No idea what's going on with that one. Let's call that one anomaly and move on. Now, what's happening with Treasure Rare Nami now? Yeah, it's significantly less than that. In fact, if we have a look at the last few solds on eBay, we can see that it's really around about a $230. We've got $225, $250, $235. That's what we're seeing on eBay right now. It's like half. And again, the set isn't out yet. We've had pre-releases. And look, I love me some pre-releases. Pre-releases are fun. Big fan of pre-releases. But we're at the stage, when you go to a pre-release, right? The hype is as high as it's ever going to be. Because the set is just coming out and everyone's super hyped about it. But the supply is very low because the only people that have got boxes have gone to pre-releases. And look, Treasure Rare Nami, I understand why people took the gamble. Because people were hoping that the first sales were going to be too low and it was going to explode in value, and maybe the Treasure Rare was rarer than the Manga Rare, etc. I get all of this, but you're hoping for an outlier there. Like I say, we can have a look at the Manga Luffy. And Manga Luffy is a card which has gone a little bit silly. And if we have a look at the graph over on TCG Player, we can actually see, now I still want it on the record that there was a brief dip on release. When the set came out, the price did go down. But look, I think it's fair to say Manga Luffy is the exception. Alright? No argument there. Manga Luffy is a ridiculous card that has gone up. And we do sometimes see the exceptions. It is with the ridiculous cards. Alright? And that's what people were hoping for with the Nami. And this is why I'm acknowledging that the Manga Rare could be an exception. Because actually, if we have a look at the Manga Lore, for instance, it's done a similar kind of thing. A brief drop on release, and it is still absolutely worth waiting for it to release. waiting for it to actually get that drop, but knowing that the mangas might go up. And if we have a look at the Captain Eustace Kid here, we see a very similar kind of thing, which is to say a very small drop on release, but a decent drop on release, but then it has gone up since. So the manga rares, I am willing to say there is a chance that actually maybe they're going to keep going up, and maybe it is worth going for that one a little bit earlier. I'm not saying you should, and I'm not saying it's guaranteed to happen, but I am saying certainly if you look at the OP-05 mangas, that absolutely has happened. You have been warned. Now, having said that, we could look at Sabo, for instance, the one from OP-04, because, you know, that was the manga rare over there. And actually, on release, we saw, really for an entire month, a fairly significant dip before it started going up again. And it has started going up again, let's be clear, but there was a month where the price was going down. My argument is not that the price is going to go down forever. My argument is that when the set releases properly, we will see a significant drop in prices. And again, I've said to you that the manga rares are the exceptions, and I've shown you that when the set actually releases, the pre-sale / pre-release prices are way too high. When the set actually releases, they go down. But what about the special rares? Let's take, for instance, Rebecca. That is the big special rare from OP-06. That's the one everyone's super excited about. Now, the first sale of that, an actual sale, came down on March the 7th for $300. Now, maybe you want to get the first one so that you can grade it, and then you got the first graded one, and then you can flip it. I know some people do try and do that. I get that, I suppose. But $300? Nah, mate. That's ridiculous. It did get a little bit better since, you know, the last three solds, we've got a 170, 145 and 125. All best offer accepted, so they are a little bit less than that. But it is trending as a very, very, very expensive card. But we don't need to guess what's going to happen with Rebecca, because we saw what happened with Nami. In OP-05, we had the special rare of Nami. And to be fair, on release, this one has gone up. And it's gone up quite a lot. It went up pretty quickly. But now it's starting to fall. From a high of over 280, well, look at the recent solds, it's 205. So, yeah, that one jumped up on release, admittedly. But again, my argument is, wait for it to come down. And it took a little while, admittedly, but it has very, very clearly started to come down quite significantly. Take Perona. This is one of the cards I desperately, desperately want. I love the Perona leader. And you better believe I'm going to be picking this one up. But look at the sales. 140, 145? Nah, mate. And they're the most recent ones. There's actually some sillier ones from when from a few days ago, over 150. I'm not paying $150 for this Perona. You'll notice nestled in the middle of them, there's a Japanese one for $45. Seriously, Japanese singles, way cheaper. Way cheaper. So, yeah. But I'm not paying $140 for this Perona. And look, Perona is a decent leader, but if we have a look at the prices in Japan, it is not the most expensive leader. Let's say it's probably going to be, in line with Luffy, maybe? A less popular character, because Luffy's Luffy, but playability-wise, maybe a bit better than Luffy, but the character's a bit worse than Luffy, so I don't know, right? Let's just put it around there. But even if we have a look at Luffy started at a $180 card, you can pick it up for $65 now. And it's not like Luffy's not a viable deck. Luffy is absolutely a viable deck right now. Luffy is a good deck that people are playing. And the alt art leader is 65. And this is kind of my point, right? In what world are we going to pay $140 for a Perona leader when Luffy is a $65 card? Let's take a Nell. A Nell, very playable card. Super playable card. Well, yeah, since release, that's dropped from 150 down to like 95. And Nell is a top deck. Like, it won North American Finals. Literally won North American finals. So, it's not that I don't want the Perona leader. I absolutely do. But does anyone realistically think the Perona leader is going to settle above like $70? I don't. I expect it to be somewhere around a $70 card. Now, will I pay $70 for the alt Perona leader? Oh, you better believe I will. Am I going to be paying $140? No, mate. Not even close. And this is my point. You know, people often say, well, yes, of course the pre-sale prices are too high. And they are, incidentally. But it's not just the pre-sale prices. Look at the cards I've shown you and how they've gone down. And look, it's not always exactly the same. Special Rare Nami took quite a while to start falling, but it is now falling, and it's falling quite nicely. Whereas the leaders have all dropped off pretty much instantly. Maybe with the special rares you want to grab them early because you don't want to wait for them to go up and come back down. That's absolutely fine. And the manga rares do tend to be a bit of an exception, but even there they tend to fall a bit and then start creeping up. So I would wait for them to fall a bit rather than just picking them up on release. As always, this is friendly advice on your old pal Wassy, but we need to bear this kind of stuff in mind. It's pretty important. Leader cards are generally going to crash pretty quickly and pretty dramatically. Special rares may well go up, but they always come back down again. And the manga rares do seem to be the exception. Oh, by the way, I've only looked at the top level cards here. Basically everything else, just expect it to go down pretty quickly, honestly. Expect every other card to go down pretty dramatically. You know, I love the alternate art lore from OP-05. It's got the lovely Akira Igawa artwork. Gigantic fan. But again, the graph does exactly what we would expect. Does weirdly have a bit of a recovery after a little bit of a while, but falls from a $30 card down to a $13 card. So make no mistake about it. All of these cards, I'm only looking at the big ones here, but anything outside what I've said, just expect them to crash pretty well. If you want to go and buy these cards, go buy these cards. It's completely up to you. And again, I'm not saying don't buy OP-06. That is not what I'm saying at all. I love OP-06. I am hyped for OP-06. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me which cards you want to be picking up from OP-06. Tell me your chase cards. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Get us! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.